Self-Petition USA provides technology-based drafting solutions. We are not a law firm and do not employ attorneys. For legal advice, always consult a licensed immigration attorney.
Okay, so today we've got this fascinating stack of sources: White House docs, immigration lawyer blogs, CBS News, Gulf News, all zeroing in on a really, controversial policy shift from September 2025.
Yeah, these new wealth-based visa paths, right? The ones people are calling the Trump gold cards.
Exactly. And it's crucial right off the bat to get what you were saying before we started recording.
Absolutely. You need to remember this is all coming from an executive order. Just poof, policy.
Not legislation debated by Congress?
No. And that means there's a huge amount of legal, uncertainty baked in from the start. Details are still murky, challenges expected. It's volatile.
Right. So our mission today is to try and cut through some of that. Let's define these cards: the gold, the corporate gold, the platinum.
Understand the mechanics.
Yeah, why on earth call $1 million payment an unrestricted gift? That's just fascinating phrasing.
It is. And how does this whole setup affect the folks going through the normal routes, like the EB-2 National Interest Waiver, the NIW?
It feels like a pretty bold move structurally.
Oh, it's incredibly bold. It's basically trying to attract, super wealthy foreign nationals by selling access, but using this sort of legal side door.
Okay, let's map it out then. What are these different cards? What are the price tags, and what do you actually get?
Right. You need to see them as, distinct products, different price points, different targets.
So Tier 1?
Tier 1 is the Trump Gold Card for individuals. This one requires you pony up a $1 million unrestricted gift.
A gift. Okay. And in return?
You get an expedited immigrant visa path. Basically, a faster track to getting a green card, lawful permanent residency.
So comparable to the existing fast tracks like EB-1 or EB-2?
Yeah, that seems to be the intention. Yeah, putting you on that kind of level.
Okay, 1 million, individual path. What if a company wants to bring someone in?
That's the Trump Corporate Gold Card. The price jumps to $2 million.
Double.
But this time, it's paid by a company, an entity, for an employee.
So it allows corporate sponsorship, gives them flexibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Helps companies move key people quickly.
Yeah.
And the sources mention, interestingly, if that employee leaves,
Yeah.
there are extra fees involved to maintain or transfer the status. So the company stays linked.
Right. Keeps the company on the hook.
Yeah.
So $1 million individual, $2 million corporate, both leading towards residency. But then there's the platinum.
The Trump Platinum Card. This is where things get really different.
The high roller tier, you called it.
Definitely. The cost is a cool $5 million gift from an individual.
$5 million. Wow. And what's the benefit? Is it an even faster green card?
See, that's the twist. Not necessarily permanent residency. The main unique selling point here is, believe it or not, a special tax status.
The tax status. For $5 million bucks, that sounds incredibly steep just for taxes.
It does, but think about the target audience. The goal, explicitly stated, is to let holders spend up to 270 days a year.
That's 9 months?
9 months a year in the U.S., but crucially, without being taxed on their non-U.S. income, their worldwide income, basically.
Hold on, that's a huge deal. Normally, green card holders get taxed on everything, everywhere, right?
Immediately. You become a U.S. tax resident for worldwide income. This Platinum Card is basically trying to compete with those, golden visa programs in places like Portugal or the UAE.
Places that attract wealthy people who want access without the massive tax hit.
Exactly. You get the U.S. lifestyle, the market access for most of the year, but you shield your global wealth from U.S. taxes.
But here's the kicker. The sources flag this Platinum Card might not even offer a clear path to citizenship.
That's a critical caveat, yes.
So for $5 million, you're buying 9 months of tax advantage access per year, but maybe not full integration. It sounds less like immigration, more like
a very expensive club membership with tax perks.
Yeah, or a high-cost access pass combined with a tax loophole.
I think that's a fair description, honestly. That $5 million price point, tied to tax relief, but not necessarily citizenship, really signals a focus on maybe short-term capital inflow rather than long-term integration.
It separates it completely from the gold and corporate tiers, which seem aimed at residency.
Absolutely. Different goals for different tiers.
Which brings us neatly to that word choice, this gift thing. Why are they hammering this term? Why not just call it a fee or an investment? It feels deliberate.
Oh, it's absolutely deliberate. It's legal strategy 101. It's about bypassing Congress.
How so?
Well, think about it. If they called it a fee, who usually sets federal fees, especially for government services like visas.
Congress does?
Right. And fees usually have to be somewhat related to the cost of the service provided. It's a whole legislative process.
So by framing it as a voluntary, unrestricted gift.
They argue it falls outside that framework.
Mm.
The president, using executive orders, arguably has more leeway to accept gifts for the government, especially if they're directed to a specific department.
And that specific department isn't the immigration agency, USCIS, it's Commerce.
Exactly. That's the other strategic piece. Why the Department of Commerce?
Yeah.
Because it lets the administration frame this inflow of cash as being for, economic development, trade promotion, infrastructure things under Commerce's umbrella.
So it sounds less like you're paying for a visa service and more like you're donating to the national economy. Political cover.
Precisely. It reinforces the gift narrative and avoids the appearance of just charging a massive visa fee.
And it also sidesteps the whole EB-5 investment visa program, doesn't it? EB-5 has all those strict rules about creating jobs and where the money goes.
Completely. This is different. It's not an investment that has to create X number of jobs. It's cash, framed as a gift, going into a government fund under Commerce.
It seems designed to avoid looking like a straight-up pay-for-a-green card deal while giving the government maximum flexibility with the money.
That seems to be the logic, yes. Maximize flexibility, minimize congressional hurdles.
Okay, so if that's the legal dance behind the gift, how does this new gold card path actually interact with the ways people already get green cards based on merit, specifically the EB-2 National Interest Waiver, the NIW?
Right, the NIW. So for anyone needing a refresher, this is usually for people with advanced degrees or, exceptional ability.
Researchers, entrepreneurs, artists, people like that.
Yeah. And the key hurdle is proving that letting them skip the usual job offer requirement and the whole labor certification process is actually in the U.S. national interest.
And proving that national interest part is usually tough, right? Lots of paperwork.
Oh, it's incredibly burdensome. Based on the current standard, the Donisar case, you have this tough three-part test.
Okay, what are the parts?
1, your work has substantial merit and national importance.
Yeah.
2, you're well-positioned to actually do the work. And 3, the big one. On balance, it benefits the U.S. to waive the job offer and labor cert rules for you.
And proving that takes...
What?
Business plans, projections.
Thick business plans, economic impact studies, letters from experts, mountains of evidence. It can take ages and cost a fortune in legal fees just to assemble the package.
So along comes someone with the gold card application and a check for $1 million. How does that payment affect that intense three-part NIW test?
This is where the executive order makes its big move. Section 2B, according to the sources, explicitly says the $1 million gift is to be treated as, get this, strong evidence of eligibility for things like exceptional ability and the national interest waiver.
Strong evidence of eligibility. So wait, does that mean the $1 million itself counts as proof for that hardest part of the NIW, the national benefit part?
That's exactly the implication. The payment itself becomes the evidence.
It replaces the need for all those complex studies and plans.
It seems designed to substitute for a significant chunk of that evidentiary burden, yes. The argument being the gift itself is a direct, quantifiable benefit to the nation's interest, fulfilling that prong of the test.
So you're essentially swapping evidence for capital?
Precisely. It streamlines the process dramatically for those who can afford the entry price.
Okay, that's a huge simplification. But let's be clear. Does this mean the gold card is an automatic green card? Does it solve the backlog problem that plagues so many applicants?
No, absolutely not. And this is critical for you listening to understand. The gold card changes the eligibility rules, making it easier to qualify. It does not change the number of visas available.
So caveat number 1, statutory limits still apply.
Exactly. Congress sets annual quotas for green cards, and there are per-country limits if you're from, say, India or China, where backlogs are years, even decades long.
The $1 million might get you approved for eligibility quickly.
But you still have to wait in line for an actual visa number to become available based on your priority date. The money buys you eligibility speed, not queue jumping speed for the visa number itself.
Okay, eligibility shortcut, not a visa number shortcut. What else?
Caveat number 2. Basic vetting isn't waived.
Meaning background checks, security screening.
All of it. National security checks, criminal background, health screenings, the standard admissibility requirements. You still have to pass all those. No amount of money bypasses basic security and health requirements.
Right. So connecting the dots, the fact that this whole system relies on an executive order, bypasses Congress, funnels money to commerce, it feels legally shaky.
Immensely shaky. That's the elephant in the room. Is the president overstepping here?
By essentially creating a new immigration category and directing funds without specific congressional approval.
Exactly. Congress controls immigration law, quotas, and, crucially, how federal money is appropriated. This policy pushes right up against those powers, maybe crosses the line. It's ripe for legal challenges.
And what stops a future administration or even the courts from just pulling the plug or changing the rules retroactively?
Nothing, really. That's the implementation risk. Because it didn't go through the normal, slow regulatory process, it's vulnerable. Sources say key operational details are still fuzzy.
Like what expedited processing actually means in practice.
Yeah, or how priority dates will actually sync up, what the exact procedures are. There's just a lot of uncertainty until formal regulations are issued, and even then, they could be challenged.
Okay, so for you listening, the learner persona we talked about, the practical takeaway seems to be, yes, the Gold Card offers this huge potential shortcut on the paperwork side, replacing years of evidence gathering with a $1 million check.
A massive advantage in terms of effort and time proving eligibility.
But that shortcut comes with big flashing warning signs, major legal uncertainty, and it doesn't solve the visa backlog issue if you're from a high-demand country.
And for those skilled people who can't write that check, the traditional EB-2 NIW path, while slow and demanding, remains the way forward. It requires that investment in proof and documentation, not just capital.
So wrapping up, we've got gold, $1 in corporate, $2 aiming for easier green card eligibility, and platinum, $5 focused on tax relief and access, maybe not integration.
All built on this legal framing of an unrestricted gift to sidestep Congress.
And the gold card basically acts as strong evidence for meeting national interest criteria.
But it doesn't override visa number limits or basic security checks.
And that platinum tier, the most expensive one, focusing on tax rather than citizenship.
It really suggests the primary driver might be attracting quick capital, that financial inflow, more than long-term immigration goals.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. Given the hefty price tag, the very real legal risks, and the fact that even $1 million doesn't get you past a visa backlog, is buying that reduction in paperwork really worth betting $1 million on a pathway that could be tied up in court or even dismantled entirely?
Something to definitely consider as this unfolds.
That's our deep dive for today.